Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? So, we are continuing our long journey into Pandaemonium to dethrone the Emperor Palamisia before he eats all our souls. You know, like you do, as a villain. This just makes me think back to the Futurama episode where we actually found out that a supervillain became president. But he didn't take all the souls, he just took all the monuments and put them on a beach. So, that's really what's going on right now, and we're again just making our long run through this. So in the meantime, we got stuff to talk about. What can I say? And while we are talking, I'm getting my butt handed to me by Fenrir's. I will admit, I do like the wolf design in this game. It's really good. Either this is the wolf or the wolf man kind of design. Thankfully, it doesn't take too much for these guys. And as you all can see, like, I believe it was the last episode, I put the Holy Lance finally on Gus, and that may have been considered a bad idea at the time, but not so much. It's proved fruitful. All we had to do was just get a couple of levels on him, and then he was able to at least get some damage in. So that'll be a good thing. But in the meantime, we do have Leon, and he has dual swords, and he's kicking butt and taking names. So that's just going to work for us. And then, there you go. Another spear skill has been awarded to Gus. And right now, we're also just collecting armor so that we can survive the upcoming battle. Oh, and enter Beelzebub. Oh, I actually like this design. It's really good. That looks really freaky. This is kind of why, boys and girls, I wanted to do the 16-bit versions, is because their sprites were cooler. Beelzebub, even the dragons look really good for this game. But right now, we're just making our way into beating up Beelzebub so we can get the Genji Armor. Now, people might also be asking, why aren't you putting all the Genji Armor on one person? Well, because it helps everybody. You know, like some people might have really low defense values, and so what I can do is just kind of raise them all, and that's why a lot of pieces are kind of getting scattered amongst others. Where it's not that great of an upgrade to, say, Furion, it might be to Maria or Gus or even Leon. And that's going to be kind of the thing, but I do believe this is the last, or the second to last item we're going to go get, at least on these floors. This really is where Pandaemonium gets the most complicated, if that makes sense, because you have to go through these rooms and get the weapons and the armor that you want. And it's proven to our benefit. We got Mazamoon out of it. I want to say we got the Rune Axe, but no, we didn't. We got that in the Jade Passage. And right now we're just buffing up the party because I want to kill this guy as fast as possible. Ooh, look, more haste. And as you guys can tell, it's allergy season for me. Yay! It never ends. Ooh, is that gonna be it? Nope. I like seeing big numbers from Leon, but I want to see Beelzebub die. Die! I am a mean individual. That was pretty good numbers. Fire 16. Ooh, and it's on one person. That's gonna hurt. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Wow, I totally overhyped that. I thought that was gonna be like 1,000 hit or whatever, because Beelzebub's one of the harder ones, but I guess that's not saying much given how much I actually leveled in this game. I wanted no problems. So while we are taking him out, one of the questions that I do get rather often is, you know, that people want me to check in on where I'm at in certain games, and so I do go into those for those who have not been part of these LPs, and bye-bye Beelzebub. So I haven't been able to play a whole lot, but I've been able to get to all the titles that I'm currently working on. I'm happy to say that I think I'm almost done with Infamous, and I'm liking the story thus far. The Dustmen aren't as cool as what I thought the Reapers were doing, but when they added in, can't remember his last name, but he's like this really big psychic. He was groomed up to be this leader, and then he got tossed out on his butt as a kid. And, the race here has given him telekinetic powers. And so he's kind of freaky in the comic strip scenes. So right now where I'm at is we tried to capture him and put him in jail, and then we had this big war happen with the Dustmen trying to come to jail and free him. And we almost succeeded, except for the fact that Alden was allowed to wake up, and he then caused 8 kinds of heck getting out of there. And every guard that was watching him was killed. The interesting part of that story, though, is that Zeke, who is Cole's best friend, I guess, he was part of that guard team, and then he stepped away. Now, where Cole gave him a little bit of crap for stepping away, I actually think that was a good idea, considering what Alden did to everybody else. So then at that point, he was able to survive. Especially since it was kind of, I believe it was his idea on how to keep Alden unconscious, so that they could, in turn, keep him held down, keep him bound. And instead, he walked away because he wanted to be part of the action. And so I don't feel as bad for Zeke as Cole is like pissed at him. I actually thought he made the right decision considering the circumstances. But now we have this whole storyline of Zeke's depressed, and he can't believe he made this big mistake. So I'm thinking that there will be something done with that. But right now, I will tell you the thing I am loving about the game thus far is the powers, because now I've actually gotten some of the really cool powers where I can use the power lines to speed across the city, or I can hover. I also like the precision power because that's just really great. I hate the machine gun turrets, and I love the fact the game gave me a solution for them. Because most of the time when you're firing at a turret, it's going to be a headshot, because they're trying to fire at you. And so you do the precision, and boom! And in this game, like with most shooters, a headshot gives you more XP. So at that point, I'm like, guaranteed additional XP for killing you. Awesome. I like the sound of that. So I'm liking it, and also I'm to a point where his girlfriend Trish is kind of back together with him, but not really, even though he's being a good guy. So at least my Cole is being a good guy. So they're kind of back together. And I actually do get a little bit of crap. Why don't you go for the renegade stuff? Why don't you go for the battle? I don't want that. I want a genuine hero. So I always go Paragon, and I don't... Occasionally in games, I may go see the bad version of it. For example, I did that in The Wolf Among Us. I did this whole just absolute dick to everybody I met. And that's fun and all, but it's not what I get out of the game, and so it's not really all that worthwhile to me to keep doing. So right now I'm being a good guy, and there really isn't a whole lot of motivation for me to go outside that box and play the bad guy Cole, especially since I like the results that I'm getting. But yeah, I'm enjoying the game thus far, but I think I'm almost done with it. Because I think when I looked at a guide, I was like 3/4 through the story, so I'm getting ready to end it. And I will say this, I think I gave my verdict on this before, but to the people who are wondering, am I going to go on to Infamous 2? Right now I am. I like it enough that I'll play Infamous 2 a little bit later and see if it's as good. In fact, I have the collection so that I get the DLC for that. I'm not guaranteeing I'll do the Infamous 2 DLC I'll wait until I play the game to make that call. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. Another game that I've been trying to get through is DMC Devil May Cry. This is the game that nobody liked, even from when its trailers were coming out. This is supposed to be Devil May Cry 5, but it's really just a Elseworld reboot of the franchise. And I think when I talked last, I was just barely getting into the story of it, but I wasn't that far. So I now know the whole justification of how they're going to have the bad guy who is Mundus from the first game, and how Dante and Virgil are how they exist in this. I did like the whole concept that instead of it being just a demon and a human merged together, it was an angel and a demon. That was an interesting take, but they haven't done a whole lot with it. I will admit that. Just the fact that we're assuming Virgil has the same abilities as Dante, and in this one, Dante gets the right to access either a demonic weapon or a angelic weapon. And this is both interesting to me and disappointing, because one of the things I liked about the Devil May Cry games was the devil arms. And so this basically limits it and says, no, we're not doing that this time. We're not doing devil arms, and that sucks. I like that concept. They're using it, interestingly enough, for gameplay, and so it is compelling, but not so much. Where I'm at in the story right now is we are launching our campaign against... It's Devil May Cry meets V for Vendetta, is what it really is. So we're launching our campaign, you can't see the air quotes, our campaign against Mundus. I'm going to call him Mundus, because I like that term better. And so we started with launching an attack on the factory that creates the drink Virility. I went, Devil May Cry joke, I see what you did there. And apparently Virility is keeping everybody instantly lobotomized because it is enhanced with demon energy, and it makes it so that we don't question what it can do. And you can tell that right off the bat because the advertisement campaigns for Virility, oh man, that would never sell in real life. Because everybody like, really? It does that, huh? Yet we see all these guys walking around like 300 pounds. It really does that? You telling me the truth here? I actually did like one moment where they're on their way to the Virility plant, and Dante just kind of looks at a guy who's like 300 pounds and he's drinking it. And he smacks the can out of his hand and says, that stuff will kill you. And that immediately triggers the demons. It's like, how dare you? Nobody's supposed to do that. You're all supposed to be lobotomized. Yeah. No. So I will admit it's silly, but I still am on the fence about the seriousness angle that they're trying to take. One of the reasons I like the Devil May Cry series is that it can take some pretty funny turns. And it can get really corny. But it doesn't seem like Ninja Theory is going that direction. They want to be totally serious with it. And I think that actually is going to be a big mistake for them in the end. Which is really sad. But we'll see what I actually think. I'm like in Chapter 8, I think? Chapter 7 or 8. I'm in the Virility Factory. Getting ready to face the Succubus. Of course, a Succubus would be in charge of the drink called Virility. I'm trying to think of the other thing that was trying to keep people... I think that was the media. So they have this, Fox News or MSNBC hybrid or embodiment, and it's stupid. Every time they turn to the TV, I'm like, turn it away. I don't care. I don't care what the city believes in the garbage that's being puked out to them through the media. I don't care. I just want to get more Dante scenes. And yeah, like I said, the seriousness angle, I think, when I get to the end here, is going to be a dislike. It's going to be something that I think will be the downfall of the game. And I hope that when Capcom brings this franchise back, they will learn from this and, Look, Devil May Cry does not have to be serious or anything like that. You can go outrageous with this series. It doesn't matter. Because it adds to the product that way. But apparently Capcom doesn't see it that way, and who knows, they may not see it that way, period, because they just open themselves to be bought out. Yep, you heard me, because I think they just announced in their recent shareholders meeting they took away the buyout clause. So somebody can buy them, and there's actually talk that Microsoft is looking to purchase them. Not really the company I would want to purchase them, but because that pretty much anchors them into nothing but Resident Evil, nothing but Dead Rising. It's just going to be stupid. I personally would like to see Nintendo buy them just because I would like to see more Mega Man and Strider. I'm probably not going to get my wish, though. So, overall, still liking Devil May Cry, but I have some very legitimate problems with it. And I think I can understand why people didn't like it. Am I having enough problems that I won't tackle the DLC? No, I'm planning on tackling the DLC. That's going to happen. Just because I like the name of it, which is Virgil's Downfall. It's almost like we're going to see Virgil fall from grace. I see what I did there. And I'm trying to think of some other games that I've gotten to. Oh, Dragon Warrior fans. Okay, so I'm at endgame, but endgame kicked my butt. So right now I am leveling in the area of Roan where Hargon is because I don't like being this under-capped. I literally can have... If the rounds do not go in my favor, I can have Ark dead in like 2 turns. If enough enemies are there. So it's kind of disappointing, but it's the way it goes. So I am right now taking a huge grinding break in Hargon's territory just to see if I can get a little bit better. Because I found a church there that instantly heals, instantly revives, instantly saves, which is great. However, I must admit one thing. Drak made a bit of a mistake. Drak got given something called the Evil Shield. And even though he has played past games before, and usually in 8 and some 16-bit games, when something's called evil or dark or whatever, it's cursed. But unfortunately, Drak's current day RPG brain was in effect, and went, oh, look, it'll add 10 points to my main character. And I equipped the Evil Shield, and now I can't get it off. So... mistakes happen, even for RPG veterans. I'm not a Dragon Warrior fan, so I immediately assumed that it was just called the Evil Shield and it wasn't going to be cursed. Well, there you go. Now I have occasionally where my main character doesn't hit, but it doesn't seem to happen that often. And I have learned my lesson. I'm not going to take that risk again in another Dragon Warrior game. It's not happening. But... that's where I am. I'm grinding right now so that I can get Hargon killed and then I can finish the game. And so I can move on to Dragon Warrior 3. For those who thought I wasn't going to go there. Yes, I'm totally going to go there. I've already said I will. That is not the issue. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take a break for this week. I know the video was short, but that's because we have actually reached the end of Pandaemonium. And next time, we're going to be taking on the Emperor of Palamecia, or the Emperor of Pandaemonium in this case. In the meantime, I am Drak, and this has been a Let's Play of Final Fantasy II for the PlayStation. See you then.